Hello everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Holland Land Office Museum's Artifact video series. My name is Ryan Duffy and I'm the director of the museum, and this week we're going to talk about one of Batavia's former department stores that line Main Street, as it only seemed fitting with the holiday season in full swing and even Black Friday right upon us. So we're going to talk about one of the larger ones and longer running ones here in Batavia, and that was the J.J. Newberry store, which operated from 1927 to 1996 here in Batavia. Now, J.J. Newberry's was a national chain of department stores. Maybe you could even call them a discount or five and dime store, but it was an old-time department store that had every single thing you could think of. In fact, it was called the anything store by many people. Now, at the height of the Newberry's popularity, it had nearly 500 stores across the United States. Though the Newberry's popularity went downward as a lot of department stores suffered, and Newberry's being one that was no exception, before the store here in Batavia was closed around the same time as pretty much all the Newberry stores were closed or bought out and changed names. But we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Newberry's and the building it was in, and even show some pictures of some of the artifacts that we have related to them. Now, the J.J. Newberry Company actually has its beginning in 1911. It began in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, but soon grew across the mid-Atlantic, with it being incorporated in 1923 in Delaware. Now, the Newberry Corporation makes its way to Batavia in 1927, where it settled in at 111 Main Street, which was formerly the J. Stewart McAlpine building, and had been used by the H.E. Turner company before that. Once it moved in, the company rebuilt the first floor and basement, and those two floors would be used as a low-price store, as it was called, and leaving the upper floors as office space. This setup could only last so long until needs were needed for greater space, and in 1949 they rebuilt the inside and also opened up the front with the iconic windows that we still see today in the building. The soda fountain and the lunch counter were relocated more towards the front, with the large showcase windows also installed. And it even added a sprinkler system for fire protection. And it made a more open design, as when you entered the front, you could actually see all the way to the back. And this store had just about anything, as it would often be called, the anything store. And you could get anything from your lunch to any sort of tools, toys, clothing that you might need. And even at Christmas, you could go see Santa there. Now, the amount of things that were there was breathtaking, as you could even get your pictures and portraits done there. You could buy pets there. Literally, it was something like the Walmart of its day. Is if you needed something, you could go to Newberry's and find it. Now, Newberry's popularity fell off along with many other department stores, as they just weren't able to keep up with the big box stores that were starting to sprout up. And by the 1990s, the company was on the downturn. And the one here in Batavia specifically actually closed its doors in 1996, with many across the country closing before that, though some held on for another maybe 10 years, but you really don't see the Newberry Company anymore. After Newberry's, it was also Main Street Coffee and American Red Cross headquarters here in Batavia, and since 2017, it's actually been the Eli Fish Brewing Company, which still operates out of the building and did its own renovations to keep this historic landmark up and running. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Artifact video series and took a little trip down memory lane going back to J.J. Newberry's department store, and maybe thought about the fond memories Christmas shopping there as you do some of that today. We hope that you go back and check any of our previous videos. We're up to 75 videos now on our Artifact video series playlist. So be sure to check out our YouTube channel, Holland Land Office Museum, and you can go back and watch all of those. And if you really like any of the content, be sure to like and subscribe, and that helps out the channel a little bit, but also gets you notified ever quicker when we do post new videos. But as always, the best way to come and experience the artifacts and stories here at the museum is come and see for yourself and visit us in person. And we'll be happy to share even more backstory than we might even get in these little videos.